Only a true Boston fan will understand as well would actually watch this. All right? The 86 Celtics. Stand up, man. Come on. Come on. Where y'all at? All right, let's go, man. We got the full documentary right here. I've been asked so much to react to this, to watch this, to sit down, and I'm finally bringing it to you guys, right? And I'm excited about it, but I'm going to need you to do me a favor. Right off the bat, I need you to hit that like button. Show that we are true Boston fans in the building. Show it. Let me see it, all right? You know what I'm saying? I want to push this. I looked and see that no one has done a reaction. It was only like one gentleman, and they didn't get that much love. And I'm like, this needs to get more love, and it needs to be seen. So probably other reactors would be encouraged to do it. So I'm gonna try to pave the way as, you know, a good sized channel to be the one who paves the way, so other reactors will jump on board and actually do a reaction to it. And the only way they're going to do it if they see that the video does good. So hit that like button and let's actually get right into it.
We won in 81. We were a good team. 84. We have a really good, you know, regular season. Get in the playoffs. Have a couple tough playoff series, but you play the Lakers.
I actually thought the Lakers were better than we were.
Playoff basketball at its best.
Well, we came to play, and we came to win.
Lakers had several chances, and here's Larry Bird.
Love the ending of that quote.
Well, we just played like a bunch of women tonight. We can still play a lot harder.
They had gotten up on us 2-1 in the series, and Casey had said, you know, no more layups. And Kurt Rambis happened to be the guy coming to the hole, and some guy fouled him hard.
That, yeah.
It was a heated rivalry, but that doesn't mean that those guys weren't talented. It wasn't like we were playing a bunch of plumbers. I mean, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they were every...
Oh yeah, hold up. Let me rewind this back. The two clips that we saw of the hard fouls and the way how they was both belt trading fouls like that, they were really in it. You know what I'm saying? No easy layups at all.
To the hole, and some guy fouled him hard. It was a heated rivalry, but that doesn't mean that those guys weren't talented. It wasn't like we were playing a bunch of plumbers. I mean, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they were every bit as good as we were.
Well, I thought we'd sweep them in 4, but it's went a little bit longer. Now we just have to do it in 7.
Once again, everybody, this is Johnny Bones. I'm on courtside here at the Boston Garden where the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers get ready for game number 7, the NBA Championship Series.
NBA Championship Series, Game 7. Oh my gosh, bro. The energy in there.
To the Los Angeles dynasty. You guys were talking about a dynasty. Here's where it is, right here.
Oh my God. That's red right there for you.
I feel like we didn't have enough firepower. Magic and Kareem have broken my heart too many times.
The Lakers are winning it. 3 in 6 years. LA comes to Boston and wins the world title.
I thought that loss in 85 was very painful for us. You know, I think everybody there knew that we were better.
They finally
They got the championship for 85.
Won it exactly where they wanted to win this world title, underneath the banners of the Boston Garden.
Oh yeah. That was inside that garden, right, when they won it.
If greatness is measured strictly by championship banners, then the Boston Celtics epitomize the meaning of the word. 17 times they have raised banners to the rafters commemorating the conclusion of another championship season.
Sheesh.
The most of any franchise in the history of the NBA.
Wait, they do? I thought they were kind of neck to neck with with Lakers when it came, I know Boston has a lot more, but I didn't realize how much they had, like that many. I always talks about team fundamentals. Like Red was all about, hey, no guy is better than no one. We're all a unit here. And he had a vision of creating a dynasty that lasts for a long time, generations to come, where people can come back and look at what the Celtics were able to build and become, and their identity through the hard work and perseverance and grittiness.
Well, I grew up in the 60s, and I was in the 8th grade before I learned that the Celtics don't win the championship every year automatically in the spring. It was a rite of springtime. Forsythia's bloom, Celtics win the championship, we move on. The Celtics, as great as they were in the 60s, didn't really own the town, but it all began, this craze of NBA love and Celtic love. It begins with Larry Bird showing up in 1979.
Everything's starting to fall into place. I hope you all realize this. We got Larry, one or two little moves, and we're ready to go.
Larry was plucked from the draft a year before he was eligible. That situation no longer exists. Red drafted him 6th overall. Everybody knew he was available. Everybody knew he was good. Red was the one that did it.
Okay, he's going to be a fine NBA player, but to become the all-time greatest forward of all time, which he was and is, people weren't sure about that yet.
Larry Bird was a damn good ball player. I never visualized he'd become that great, but he knew how to win, and he was smart.
Red was in control all the time, and we knew that. He brought in players that we needed. We always felt that if we needed an extra piece, he could go get it, so it made it very easy for us.
Bird, along with the talented third-year forward Cedric Maxwell, made up the Celtics core in 1980. But Auerbach, desperately wanting to fill out his roster, seized the offseason to construct the foundation of a championship team.
Okay.
It was Red playing chess when the others were playing checkers. He was ahead of people.
All of them were obtained by Red in very, what today would be called larcenous ways.
And of course, Red, being crafty Red, had his plan. He would say, I'd love to get my hands on that Robert Parrish because he can run.
Red traded for Parrish in 1980.
I go to New York for the draft, and I'm in my hotel room, and my phone rings. I answer the phone, and it was Red. And Red said, we just traded with Golden State, we're bringing in Robert Parrish, but I'm gonna take you at 3.
When I got the call from the Warriors that I had been traded, after I got over the surprise and I hung up from the Warriors, I was like, yes!
So there's 3 players right there, that front line, that were all obtained by really, really smart trades.
This is like assembling the Avengers. This is the moment where we're having where he's assembling the Avengers of Boston Celtics.
Line that were all obtained by really, really smart trades.
Back in '81, Robert had to start playing right away, and he was in no condition to play. And Kevin was just a rookie, and we didn't know how he was going to do, but it all turned out we won a championship.
Red's roster moves resulted in a title in 1981. But the audacious Auerbach spent the offseason pursuing a gifted athlete whose intensity rivaled Larry's. Unfortunately for Red, he was trying to catch a bird of a different feather.
Danny Ainge, All-American at Brigham Young, and in fact, was playing for the Blue Jays.
I'm playing baseball. I'm not going to play basketball, he said. Well, Red said, okay, I'll take you. He took him in the 2nd round.
In 1981, the baseball strike happened. The Celtics and Blue Jays fought in court over who had rights, and Blue Jays won the battle, which ensued a big negotiation. The Blue Jays were trying to trade my rights to other baseball teams. People were throwing, plastic basketballs out on the field, and ultimately a settlement happened, and the Celtics paid a big price, and my career choice was made right then and there.
Everybody was talking about Rick Roby. What's he want to do? Is Rick Roby going to be traded? Is Rick going to stay? What's Rick's thoughts on all this?
Well, this summer, I came out and I said that I'd like to be traded.
Red gets Dennis Johnson for Rick Roby.
Dennis Johnson was stolen from Phoenix.
Dennis Johnson didn't give a damn. Dennis Johnson had the total personality to stand up and mesh with this great front court.
Red used his intelligence and his shrewdness, and he stole them all. And people wonder today, well, how good was he? The guy was a genius.
I used to tell him,
What?
you had a good summer? Everybody patting you on the back? I said, it's going to take 2 losses in a row for people to say, who are those bums?
By 1985, the Celtics, with Bird and McHale Parrish, had now won 2 championships and had lost a tough finals in '85 to the Lakers. The one reason that they had not won in '85 was Cedric Maxwell had gotten injured in the middle of the season and never got back to where he was.
Celtics forward Cedric Maxwell was the finals MVP in 1981 and a key component of the 1984 championship roster. Cedric started alongside Larry Bird for 6 straight seasons, but the savvy scorer sensed his time as a starter was coming to an end.
I understood the chemistry of the team was going to change when I saw Kevin McHale score 56 points when I got hurt. So it's like, well, that'll be the last time I'll be starting. That's probably it right there.
Max was, one of my favorite teammates. He was fun, great sense of humor, very loose player, and a very good player.
Cedric Maxwell was a very vital player, but there was a falling out.
Cedric had angered Red Auerbach because he had been hurt the year before and he didn't come to Summer League. To this day, Cedric will tell you, why should I have to go to Summer League? I was a veteran at the time. I was recovering from an injury. Well, Red wanted him there, that's why.
Red was still mad at Max. It was all that nonsense about Max's not coming back from the knee injury fast enough.
He and Red had issues. It was contract issues, effort issues on Red's mind. He didn't think that Max was giving him the effort that he wanted, and I think Bird felt that way a little bit too.
I never talked to Larry. I don't think any of my teammates. I felt isolated. The only person I talked to about this basically was my attorney, and he was telling me what was about to happen or what could happen.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away in Los Angeles, an aging center was contemplating how to save his capsized career with the Clippers.
I had just spent 6 brutally long, painful, lonely, disastrous years on the Clippers.
Bill Walton, a 2-time national champion with UCLA in the early 70s, would go on to be the NBA MVP and capture a title with the Portland Trail Blazers in 1977. But injuries plagued him throughout his career, and it appeared the prolific big man was a sinking ship with the Clippers.
Walton, remember, had signed amid great fanfare with the Clippers from Portland and never lived up to it for them because he was never healthy.
Bill was at a point in his career where he'd been hurt for so long, he hadn't won for so long, and he needed something fresh and something new.
I just desperately wanted to have it be fun again. I wanted to be part of something that was good and positive and upbeat and happy and the celebration of life that basketball always has been for me.
Bill Walton did not want to come to the Boston Celtics. He wanted to go to the Lakers, desperately.
Growing up here in Southern California, I always wanted to be here. I called the Lakers about being on their team. Jerry West, a lifelong friend. Jerry said, no, Bill, I've seen your feet, and we don't want any part of that.
When that didn't come to pass, then I think he became hell-bent on getting to the Celtics and helping them beat the Lakers.
Wow. The reason why I'm very quiet, because this is a lot of new information. I really want to soak in and learn the history. So I will be commenting here and there, and not just going to be just sitting there and watching the whole video. But I really do, out of respect, shown that I am very interested. And so this is a lot of new information that I don't know. And I'm just really sitting down learning it, right?
I called Red Auerbach, and at the time I got Red on the phone that he was having a meeting with Larry about the future of the team. And so when I told Red that I wanted to become a Celtic, Red said, please hold the line. And so Red put his hand over the phone and looked across the desk at Larry and said, hey, Larry, this guy Walton's on the phone from California. He wants to come be on the Celtics. What do you think? Larry leaned over immediately and said, Red, go get him.
So they came to me with the idea like, well, we can trade you to the Clippers. And I was so upset because of all the negativity around me that I did whatever I could to try to make that trade happen.
Cedric Maxwell, you don't just hand him away. He was expendable because McHale was still coming off the bench. You can live without Max if you can justify, who you're going to get in return.
So Walton was a gamble, no question, because of his health. You just didn't know, could he play enough games to have an impact on his team?
While Walton's health was the subject of fierce speculation, a bigger question remained for Boston. Would Walton ever suit up for the Celtics?
We all knew the deal was going to be Bill for Cedric, but the fly in the ointment was Donald Sterling, who was the owner of the Clippers at the time. It took all summer for them to finally convince Donald that, yes, we have to make this deal. Bill will go and you'll get Cedric.
I was just very soured by what I perceived to be as total disrespect to somebody who had played as hard as I had played, and then the trade was done.
It's obvious that my relationship with the organization was strained, and I think I did need to go, and I think that the situation was good for both people, for myself and Walton.
We grew up idolizing Walton. I had this feeling, and Larry and Kevin, I think, did too, of this, like, Bill Walton is coming to play for the Celtics.
Bill hadn't really had impact in the NBA in a while. There was still this mystical player and had been the greatest college player in history. 88 consecutive wins. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna go back. I like that they actually give all of these information about the players, as a group, as a whole, as a unit, and why they were so significant to building the '86 Celtics. You know what I'm saying?
I think did too, of this, like, Bill Walton is coming to play for the Celtics.
Bill hadn't really had impact in the NBA in a while. There was still this mystical player and had been the greatest college player in history. 88 consecutive wins. Thank you very much. You know, wins the championship for Portland.
In 1977, his NBA championship run was one of the most incredible and individual performances that I've ever witnessed in NBA history.
There was, again, this mystique about him. He was very kind of foreboding when he was with the Clippers.
Here was this Hall of Fame player, this great player who had become depressed over basketball. He'd lost his love for the game. And when he came to Boston, to him it was a chance to rejuvenate not only his career, he'll tell you his life. He'll say to you, Larry Bird saved my life.
Red, Larry, the Celtics, the people in New England, they didn't give me my career back. They gave me my life back.
Oh, wow.
Bill deals in hyperbole. Everything's the greatest of all time. This is the greatest sandwich I've ever eaten. That's how he rolls. That's why we love him.
The energy and the enthusiasm that he brought to this team, as a sixth man, mind you, a guy that wasn't going to start, I think it just transformed that whole lineup, and everybody loved him.
He came in town a few days early, and the first place that he stopped was at my house. And that said a lot about the person. You know, he wanted to make sure that I didn't feel threatened, make sure that he's going to be received very well.
He brought a real sort of, I think, reminder for the rest of them that this is fleeting. It can, on a dime, it can change at any moment. Let's embrace this. Let's enjoy this. Let's make this happen. Let's make this work. And, you know, I think for a lot of them, some of the motivation, of course, they always wanted to win, but it's like, let's get one for Bill, too.
I like that. I like how they showing his personality, his character, and how much it meant to him to go over to the Celtics, and how much it brought back that spark that into his career as far as playing NBA. And on top of that, how it made him felt more optimistic about his own life. You know what I'm saying? More happy, more. You can tell he just needed to get into a different environment, something that he needed to be in. And I think that environment was perfect for him, right?
As the Celtics prepared for the upcoming season, Red Auerbach continued to add depth to Boston's roster. With Walton coming off the bench to help the Big Three, Red used the 20th pick in the 1985 draft to select Michigan State guard Sam Vincent.
Man, I was that rookie who didn't know anything, just, you know, along a little bit for the ride. It's funny because I was kind of in awe a little bit of where I was.
Sam Vincent wasn't the only addition to the Celtics bench, surprised to find himself in Boston. Shooting guard Jerry Seasting joined Bill Walton as another key veteran addition.
So when Walton and I came, we knew we were going to be, you know, coming off the bench, and we had Scott Wedman and we had Greg Kite and Carlisle. We had a pretty good bench, and everybody knew from day one at training camp that if we didn't win the championship, the season was going to be a failure.
Going through camp, knowing that we had an extra big and Jerry from a shooting standpoint, and being very active with the point guards, we felt we had a good chance to making a hell of a run.
We used to practice at this place called Hellenic College, and it was right around the corner from Larry's house.
Bill Walton will tell you that he would get phone calls before practice from Larry and Kevin coming to say, "You get your ass in here. We're going to kick it up and down the floor over at Hellenic today." You know, well, basketball love this. This is a wet dream for him that he's playing with these guys on this team, that these are the people he's playing with.
Bill had his own identity, his own team in practice, and they put up good battles every day. It was a test.
Bill gave Larry, Kevin, myself, he called us the stat rats. Let's go kill those stat rats, F them all. All they want to do is pad their stats, so he get them all hyped.
That look like they're having fun. That looks like they're enjoying the chemistry. That's so important.
At their stats,
look at this.
So he get them all hyped.
The first string, they could do everything. We had to come each and every day. We tried our best, but this was truly a starting five. Oh my gosh, for the ages.
When you look at the 5 players that were starting, I still think the greatest starting lineup of all time, I think it's the greatest NBA team of all time, is the 85-86 Celtics. I do.
Larry has had back-to-back MVPs, and he's headed toward a third MVP.
There was a guy who wasn't the fastest, wasn't the highest jumper, wasn't the tallest, wasn't the strongest, but he was the best.
He was as good as he's ever been. He was in prime of his career, and he was the leader of that team.
Larry was very quiet. Larry didn't say a whole bunch of stuff, but boy, you could tell when he was pissed and he was ready to go to work. Believe me, it showed.
His game was putting it in your face.
The toughest-minded, the hardest-working, guy on our team.
He mastered the game. He literally mastered the game.
Yes, sir.
Kevin McHale, who is 28 in the prime of his career, our best defender.
McHale would have been a 3-4-time MVP with the skill set he had, but understood that the way the team worked, that Bird needed to be the alpha, and he was fine with that.
Kevin was as good as anybody I've ever seen.
He was automatic on the post. Nobody could guard him.
Up and under, lefty hook, righty hook, I saw it all.
Kevin's footwork, his moves, his imagination, his creativity, but more so his personality.
Mr. Torture Chamber himself, yes, Kevin McHale. Oh, bad but a trucker.
I had people that I was, what do you do? I said, I don't work at basketball. I just was like, I just show up and play, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. I did all this work and stuff, but I never wanted to tell anybody what the hell I did. I figured if they couldn't figure it out, then it's good for me.
Robert Parrish, if he's the third best player on the team, you can argue that he would have been the best player in the history of about 10 other teams.
During the games, always so stoic, had the stone face there.
I've never seen another center run the floor as beautifully and seemingly effortlessly as Robert Parrish.
I mean, Larry and Robert, you talk about pick and roll duos. Huh, you kidding me? Who's better than that today? There's good ones, but they're not better.
To me, he's one of the most underrated centers in NBA history.
Robert was a major player on them teams that were successful, and he probably gave up more than anybody.
I had the lesser ego of the three of us, and I think that really helped us to gel and stay in sync with one another.
With McHale moving into the starting role alongside Parrish and Bird, the big three of the Celtics frontcourt was formed. But it would be 2 tenacious guards who would complete the Celtics starting 5.
The best player in big situations, I thought, was DJ, not because he scored a lot of points. He did all the dirty work. He had to guard all the best players. He had to guard Magic. But just his mentality. When Dennis Johnson drove the basketball to the basket, he was serious about winning a basketball game.
Didn't think he was fast, but he was deceptively quick.
Dennis Johnson's one of those guys that he could be 0 for 10, and he wouldn't hesitate to take number 11, and you don't mind if he did.
You just knew he was going to make the shot. So he'd finish 1 for 12 with the game winner. That was DJ's game.
By the time 1986 rolled around, I was really comfortable with being the villain.
What can I tell you? Booed everywhere in the league. You must be a rotten guy.
I am, Johnny. I'm a bad guy.
The crowd loved to boo me, and I was really, really comfortable in that role for the Celtics.
He was the bratty little brother. He was the one everybody picked on.
Danny, we always picked on Danny, but Danny was tough.
He was irritating. He was a little gnat. He was bothersome, and boy, could he shoot.
Danny never gave up a cheap basket in his life. He was tremendous on the fast break. He was a three-point shooter.
He showed up and played every day, hurt. He grinded it out. He gave you everything he had every minute.
My teammates and my coaches appreciate me, and my opponents don't appreciate me, and that's okay. I mean, that's the way I want it. I don't want the players I'm playing against to play against me.
I got the ultimate compliment from Walton in a moment of passion and frustration with our team, said that I was the only one on the team doing my job because I'm being booed in every arena in the NBA. And so I go, thanks, Bill. That's like a great compliment.
Bill came in, Danny sort of turned the switch over and started bullying him. So it was interesting to see.
We had fun competition internally all the time. Larry and I used to play one-on-one, sort of half-court one-on-one before practice very often each day to get loose and warmed up. But we had friendly competitions.
The looseness of the locker room, and every day it seemed like the guys couldn't wait to get to practice, see one another.
And I called foul and you said no and continue to play. You say you can stop me anytime you want anyway, so give me the ball.
Uh-oh.
Prove it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
This 86 team might be considered among the best team of all time, but it was really the green team was the best team of all time.
The green team, comprised of the Celtics bench players, took great pride in challenging Bird and the starting five in practice.
Well, the green team, those years, with Seasteen, Walton, those guys had something to prove. They would beat the white team sometimes in practice.
It was a very special second unit. We knew that our role was to help. Our job was to do what the other guys couldn't do all day long.
The green team would start talking trash about winning a game. Everybody would just be yelling, "Case, let's scrimmage, let's quit doing this. We just wanted to play them." And as Bill used to like to say, well, let's let them win one so we can go home. Like, we weren't going to stop practice until he said the white team, or he's called it the stat team, till the stat team won.
We started even keeping a running tally in the locker room a lot of times on who was winning the scrimmages.
We got to the point where the white team would cheat and erase, or add different tallies. They just couldn't keep up with us.
There was just so much competitiveness and so much trash being talked. At a certain point, you went like, you forgot that you were tired, you forgot about everything, you just went out there and competed, and it was fun.
They had shooting depth, they had defensive depth, they had rebounding depth. That green team, they were the difference between 85 and 86 and why the Celtics were so much stronger.
The difference between this team and last year, I would say, would be the health of the team and an improvement in the bench.
Green team. So you had the green team against the white team. The green team was the second unit that came in, and they really helped a lot rejuvenate and push the main starting team lineup, so that way they could be ready to be those championship, to take those championships to compete at a high level. They was able to do stuff like they said. They was well versed in their whole team in general as a unit. And I see why it makes a lot of sense, basically, why these guys were so dominant how they were, because you had so much great talent and everybody was in together and they understood the main mission is, hey, we are a team. Everyone else, they're enemies out here. It doesn't matter. We're locked in. We're going to build this chemistry. And it shows, man. It shows.
Coach K.C. Jones, in his third season leading the Celtics, had one of the most talented teams in the NBA, but the challenge rests in managing that talent.
KC's strong suit, in my opinion, was his people skills. He had the ability to make that 10th, 11th, and 12th guy feel just as important as the guys that was playing every night.
I don't know that Casey ever got fully the credit that he deserved for what he did on the floor. Yes, they were great players, but still, you've got to have a manager, and that's a coach usually that could put all that together and make it successful.
How would you compare the confidence on this team to the clubs you played with, the world champion teams?
The same. The 9 years I played, we were the cockiest team in the whole league. And for those 9 years, and this team matches that, which I like very much.
There was no ego out of control with K.C. Jones. There was no self-promotion. There was no individual agenda. It was all about the team. It was all about us.
When Case would come in and, yell and curse, we'd all go, ooh, man, we must have really crossed over a bad bridge to get Case that mad, because Case was very calm. And he didn't do it very often, but boy, when he did, he got our attention.
In Casey, I find a brilliant person, a brilliant coach, and a brilliant man with just enough room to let us get a little leeway and then snap it right back to make us go right.
I remember one time in particular, you know, DJ was not happy that Kevin didn't pass him the ball out of a double team. And so he sort of acted out on the court. And I remember KC was so mad that he actually challenged DJ to a fight in the locker room after the game. Like, you know, you're not going to screw this team up. But I mean, like KC was willing to just like do whatever it took. We're not going to have any of that.
For me, it was just a joy to be coached by a guy who I really respected a lot and liked a lot.
Oh, wow.
We had most of the summer to celebrate. It's a new season now, and this is an important game tonight. There's no question about that. I think we learned from the past that we can't dwell on a championship year. You have to come back and start on over, and I think we've been pretty successful in doing that.
I think that itself as well, having a great team, but like they said, it's not just having a great team, a phenomenal team, but you have to have an excellent coach who can keep their players, you know, focus, right? And to not let any player, because there are a lot of players on there that is really good, they could have ego. And once you have a player that has ego, it starts to, you know, it starts to affect the team. And he understood that. He was like, yo, we're not going to let you split this team up and, you know, and destroy the chemistry you got going on. Everybody's going to fall in line and understand that we are a team. Doesn't matter how good you are. And a lot of them had respect for him. That's dope.
The NBA couldn't get enough of the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. The teams got reacquainted early and often in the preseason.
This is on the heels of being in the finals with them in '85. So these teams did not like each other, you know, and so it's almost like a playoff series and exhibition season.
There's just not enough of it during the regular season to get a real rivalry.
They had signed Maurice Lucas to be their enforcer that year.
It's a good situation for me. It's a situation that is good for my game.
Late in the game, he and Robert Perry square off. They start going at it, both benches empty. Casey Jones had Michael Cooper in a headlock like this with his eyes about ready to come out. So I go, I like this, coach.
The Celtics were prepared for the challenge of the 85-86 season as they focused their attention on the lowly New Jersey Nets for Game 1 of the regular season.
I remember like Larry was playing practical jokes before the game. Our team was so loose and confident. Larry was tying KC's shoestrings together in our pregame meeting, and you know, just to get laughs out of everybody.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily believe the story that Danny told, that Larry tied his shoes. I think Danny probably tied his shoes.
Bird and the Celtics looked relaxed as they took to the court ready to cut down the Nets in New Jersey. But ultimately, it would be the Celtics who would get tripped up on opening night.
5 seconds. 4. Richardson. Got it!
Oh, snap.
The Nets have tied it up. Here it is to Bird. It is no good. We're going to overtime.
We did everything we could to lose. We did everything wrong.
Bill had a terrible game. I mean, he was so pumped for that game. I mean, his first game with the Celtics.
All of us who were there, the memory of that game, of course, is talking to Bill Walton after the game, who announces, I was a disgrace to the game of basketball. And we're like, okay, this is going to be great this year.
We had this brilliant team, and we should have won all the games, but we didn't, and I was responsible for a lot of the losses, including the very first one. It was a disastrous performance.
Accountability.
And at the end of the game, I took full responsibility, and I am a disgrace to the sport of basketball, and I let my team down.
William said that every time we lost. So you can't buy into that.
I remember Larry taking off his shoes, Bill standing up and go, I would like to apologize to everybody who ever put on a Celtic uniform. You know, started off with this thing. I remember Larry like getting about halfway through his shoe, and Bill did this whole thing, and he goes, I sure as hell hope we play better, because I can't stand listening to that 81 more times. And we all just started laughing. And I just said, someone throw me a beer. I think I had a beer. I was like, oh, what a lousy game. And we just kind of moved on from there.
The Celtics packed up and headed to Cleveland, claiming their first win of the season before heading home to host the Bucks, where the Garden crowd would get their first glimpse of Boston's new Green Giant.
He loved it. I've never seen a man come into a training camp with as much desire to produce.
Walton's teammates and the Boston fans held him in the highest regard for his play on the court. But there was much more to Bill than the game of basketball.
I remember we're working out before the season, and Bill has to go to North Dakota to sit in for an Indian reservation. I don't know what they were doing there, but smoking peace pipes, I'm sure, had something to do with it. Bill was hilarious. He just made me laugh every day. The guy was just such a crack up.
He was like this throwback to the Woodstock era.
Oh, he was still pretty much a character at that time. You know, I mean, he's the original Deadhead. I think, at least in the Hall of Fame, a Deadhead following the Grateful Dead around.
Walton had followed the psychedelic rock band The Grateful Dead since the early 1970s as a loyal fan and a close friend of vocalist Jerry Garcia.
We had Grateful Dead stickers plastered all over our lockers. And I went up to Bill and I said, Bill, you gotta, help me with this Grateful Dead stuff. Like, I'm not feeling it. Why don't you give me some music of theirs that you like? And so he gave me a cassette or whatever, and I went home and I actually listened to it that night and was listening to the music, and I came back the next day and I had the cassette in my hand and I said, Bill, I'm not feeling it. What is your very favorite song from the Grateful Dead? He grabs that cassette out of my hands and he goes, when you're a Dead fan, it's all one song.
One day I was warming up at practice and Larry and Kevin came over and cornered me. And they said, what's going on, Walton? There's all these new people in town. They all have long hair. They're all wearing those funny tie-dye shirts that you always wear, and they smell really weird. What's going on? I said, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And so Larry and Kevin said, come on, are the Grateful Dead in town? I admitted that they were on their way. Is there going to be a concert? Yes. Are you going? Yes. Do you think we could come too, Bill? I think we could work something out. The whole team came. Everybody except Danny. His wife, Michelle, wouldn't let him come.
For 2 nights in early November 1985.
Yo, he was the guy that made everybody feel loose and just enjoy themselves. Like he was a very loose person. He didn't mind taking accountability, be the punching bag and all that. I like Will, bro.
The whole team came. Everybody except Danny. His wife, Michelle, wouldn't let him come.
His wife won't let him
come.
come.
2 nights in early November 1985, the Grateful Dead headlined the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts, with special guest Bill Walton and the Boston Celtics.
We pulled up to the arena and Bill Walton walks to the back door. We have no tickets, we have nothing. And some guy opens the door, doesn't anything, he goes, Bill Walton, I'm with the band. And he just walks in and he goes, and they're with me. No backstage passes. Bill goes, where's the band? Well, we go to a room and next thing you know, Jerry Garcia walks in, the entire band walks in and Bill's there and they can't start the concert until they get a chance to talk to Bill. The promoter's like going, we're supposed to go out at 7:30. Now it's 7:40 and they're going like Bill's here. We're not done talking with Bill yet, and Bill's introducing people, and he's like, it's like old home week with the guy. We're having a beer, we're watching the concert, and Jerry Garcia gets up there and he says, sorry we're late, but our old friend Bill Walton came, and of course we couldn't come. And the place just starts cheering, like, well, of course you couldn't, because you had to hang out with Bill for a while. It was just amazing, and then we sat on stage for the concert, and those guys were like 5 feet from us, and I looked at Bill and I go, boy, you are something.
When the concert was over, they all looked at me with their kaleidoscope eyes and they said, wow, can we come back tomorrow? And that they did.
I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I even got it. I was shaking my little narrow butt, to be honest. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
That honestly was a typical day in the life of Bill Walton. And when you got to hang around with Bill, you saw and did a lot of interesting things.
I still don't get the Grateful Dead, but he still loves it.
Despite Boston's season opening loss to New Jersey, the Celtics quickly got things back on track.
Losing can be a good thing because we was able to refocus. And not to mention, I think losing keep you humble.
Bird clears. Up ahead to E. Parrish beats the pack.
Boston dominated the competition decisively as they ascended to the top of the Eastern Conference. The Big Three and company won 17 of the next 18 games, with the last 3 victories coming on the road.
He's a testing Red Auerbach and most great Lark game. What a pass by Walton, huh?
On the road,
oh yeah,
all kinds of different things going on. A lot of friends want to come out for tickets and go out after games and different things. And at home, you just felt more comfortable.
For Bird and the Celtics faithful alike, solace was found at home under the roof of an aging basketball cathedral, the Boston Garden.
I look at the banners each and every time, each and every game, and look at the retired numbers and look around, and I love that place.
The Boston Garden is Boston Celtic basketball. That's it. You don't get better than that. I mean, where else can you go in the NBA and find anything like the Boston Garden? Nowhere.
The Garden, of course, had character. It had been there forever. You would walk up these wide tunnels to get there. There were no stairways. It was an old building. Everything echoed in there. You weren't too far back. The building didn't spread out like this. The building more went up like that. So even if you were in the second balcony, you were looking down.
Well, I thought it was awesome. I remember going there for the first time, and it caught me off guard a little bit. It was upstairs of the train tracks.
The Garden reeks of tradition, and you go in there, and I think not only psychs up the fans and the Celtics, but I think it also kind of makes the other players a little leery of where they're playing. And they not only have to beat the Celtics, they have to, in a way, beat the Garden.
Boston would use any means necessary to beat you, and it did get into their heads. Their building was considered, a point of hell.
A different place. If it's hot for them, it's hot for us. Like they complain the showers, there wasn't enough hot water. I said, well, that's the luck of the Irish. It's too bad. We didn't have hot water either. I wouldn't tell them that.
They thought that, the cold water was turned off in the showers and the thermostat was jacked up in the room and the dead spots were memorized.
You didn't know from night to night when you was going to have I wouldn't say it was a dead spot. It was either a lively spot or the ball wouldn't bounce back to you correctly. And usually it was around the center circle, out in the middle. But it changed from game to game. I think it depended on how hard they screwed the bolts down to the floor. But it's been there since Russell, so if it's good enough for Bill to play on, it's good enough for me.
Wow. So they use what Red Arbeck was talking about is that when they was complaining about water being too cold, not hot enough, or AC, he would just say, hey, that's just how it is, go through it. But he would never tell them that they experienced the same thing too, because he wanted to get the edge, and he wanted to get the edge on them, right? So it's like using the psychology, the strategics of mental battles against them, physical battles, all these things to get the lead on them. You know what I'm saying? And you should, especially if they coming in your garden. You know what I'm saying? You want to do that.
A lot of the NBA crowds are corporate crowds, but the Celtic fans, they wore their tennis shoes in the hope, in the dream that KC might put them into the game.
Their support and belief in us kind of propelled us on to some victories.
During the games, the crowd, the fans, and it felt like they was right on top of you. Obviously, they were behind you 100%. So it was a thrill to play there. It really was.
Seeing all the other fans who have been there throughout the entire string of Celtic championships, and to realize that now I'm a part of that. And although we haven't won the championship yet, we think we're going to.
There was no doubt they were going to win every game at home. We were all sure of it because that's how dominant they were.
With a record of 17-2, the Celtics took their 9-0 home record back to the Garden to take on the Portland Trail Blazers in early December.
It's the Celtics versus the Trailblazers. The championship banners hanging from the rafters of the Boston Garden represent the fact that the visitors very rarely get a chance to taste the sweetness of success.
They had all these guys, they were like 6'3" to 6'5". They could jump out of the gym, and I called them the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Flying Burrito Brothers, that's what they called it. It was Steve Coulter, who was a very quick 6'1" or 2" guard, and the young Jerome Kersey was a real, aggressive, very exciting 6'7" forward.
Steve Coulter the rebound. 10-point Blazer lead. Kersey make it 12.
We were playing hard, we were playing good, and they got on a run, and they just ran it down our throats.
They lead by 10. Coulter, nice drive.
The guy that killed him was Steve Coulter. They had trouble containing him. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
8 seconds. Coulter is going to have to take this outside jumper. He penetrates this.
They were attacking us, and the speed that they had in their backcourt was really too much for us because they had us on our heels all day.
Ainge, whoa, it's getting a little physical. Kersey and Ainge. Ainge started throwing the elbows around.
Once again, they didn't give up. They were down fairly big. They came back, took the lead. The lead lasted 15 seconds.
By Bird, Coulter, Kersey.
And one of those flying burrito brothers scored right away. Boom, that was it. And they stretched it out, we'll make 15. That was the only loss of the year at home.
We had a major letdown tonight. You know, we've been getting off to some early leads, and we just came out really flat. By far the most flat we've been throughout the whole season.
I do know why.
And we'll put this back real quick. What they mention on here is, and then what I'm seeing is that, like, yeah, they're building this again. They're building a team. They're fresh off, getting used to the chemistry and everything. This is normal when you have a team assemble together like this. It's normal, and then they grow to become one of the best teams that has ever been put together
at home.
We had a major letdown tonight. You know, we've been getting off to some early leads, and we just came out really flat. By far the most flat we've been throughout the whole season.
I do know why Portland beat us, because they were better that day. We played a good game, but they were just better.
They just downplayed them, you know. Nobody's perfect. They were damn good, but not perfect.
You know, we have to be motivated. We're the Boston Celtics, and sometimes I think that we feel we can just show up and win, and, you know, that's not the case. We got to show up to play our best in order to win, because teams are gunning for us night in and night out.
Oh, yeah.
In December, the Celtics got into the holiday spirit with their families as Boston was given the gift of basketball on Christmas Day.
The Christmas Day game was then and still is now. You know, it's a big game for the players. Everybody's watching.
In those days, you know, the national TV was a big deal.
It was the Knicks, and there was always this Boston-New York thing, no matter what sport it is.
It was an early afternoon game, so the team was required by the league to be in New York the night before the game, which is Christmas Eve.
An incoming snowstorm had forced the Celtics to head to New York early on Christmas Eve. As players said goodbye to their families and headed off to face the Knicks, one player had different plans for the holidays.
Kevin decided not to accompany the team to New York the night before.
I just said, well, I want to wake up and have Christmas with my family. Kids are opening up the presents. They were young. And I went like, I'm going to come down on a plane.
Kevin wasn't there on the flight the night before with us, and he come walking on saying, well, I got children. Well, we all got family, you know. I mean, it's just not, you know, does your 3-year-old kid or 4-year-old kid know it's really Christmas? Could you fake them out a day or two later?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Larry would say. I mean, that's how he kind of communicated to get his point across. You know, it'd be more of a stinging little jab one-liner like that.
All of us want to stay home on Christmas, you know, with the kids, but, you know, those are hard choices.
He showed up right before he got on the bus, so everybody was just kind of ticked off and in a bad mood that we were even down there for Christmas anyway, and so we kind of took it out on the Knicks.
By the third quarter, the Celtics had dashed out to a 25-point lead, and all appeared to be merry and bright.
The NBA is a game of ebb and flow. You're going to see all kinds of bizarre last-second things. You're going to see all kinds of big leads blown.
But it appeared that a Christmas miracle was coming true for the team that resided a few blocks from 42nd Street. The Knicks would play the role of the Grinch, stealing away a victory from the Green, 113-104.
No.
The takeaway from that was McHale not making the trip with the team.
You know, I wasn't apologetic about it. I'd do it again if I had to do it. If I had to do it again, I'd do it again.
And I respect Kevin for his decision in standing up for something that he really believed in.
The one thing I learned as I went through my career was everyone's different. You know, people don't take the game as seriously 24/7 as I did, and that's okay.
One thing you can say about Kevin, he was dependable. So none of us had any issue with it. Obviously the league did.
You know, I remember Red, like 5 days later, came up to me and he said, we're not going to find you. I'd probably stay home with my family too, don't worry about it. And I just kind of laughed about it and we moved on.
New York was not a great team. It was a team that we should have beat, and like we, you know, but it was a pattern with the team that year. It was a pattern that we would get these big leads and then maybe get a little bored, because again, our minds were really always on the Lakers and the NBA championship.
Okay.
After an embarrassing Christmas Day loss, it was clear the Celtics needed to refocus in the new year.
This should be better than it is, and the Knicks game kind of drove that home to them.
After that New York travesty, We did some soul searching.
We need to maybe cut down on some of the extracurricular activity and get serious.
Everybody showed up after a big New Year's Eve night. We thought it'd just probably be a pretty average kind of practice, kind of low key, and then we play the next night. Well, KC had a real tough practice that night. I mean, he killed us that night.
The changing of the calendar year would lead to a New Year's resolution for the Celtics.
Okay, I like this.
Lobster. Ooh. I tell you, it's the salad bar.
Well, boys, after a meal like this, there's only one way to show our appreciation.
Well, I just remember they said we're not going to drink till we win a championship, and all I asked was, I hope we're planning on winning it this year, because I will break my vow if it goes longer than this June.
Oh,
Bird was kind of the first
snap.
one. He goes, "That's it." He goes, "I'm not drinking till the season's over."
Be big and tough and
So they sober up. Yeah, I remember a hint of this story, right? The resolution, the challenge was, until we win, no drinking.
Longer than this June.
Bird was kind of the first one. He goes, "That's it." He goes, "I'm not drinking till the season's over."
be big and tough and strong to eat lobster.
Hey, I know what these guys need. A little more practice.
I don't remember whose idea it was, honestly. Someone said it was Larry's idea. I can assure you it wasn't Larry's idea. Of all the things I can assure you of, it wasn't Larry Bird's idea.
I can remember somebody coming in the locker room and said, "No more beer or alcohol the rest of the year." I like to drink my beer, and I wasn't very happy about it.
You know, Bird was a partier in his early days. Actually, probably today too.
To understand what a big sacrifice this was, it's hard to explain, but we had guys that went hard every night, and popping a cold one was one of the best tastes you can ever have.
Up the sleeping dog, and we woke him up.
Bird's trash-talking ways extended far beyond Atlanta. Larry had a way with words and continually proved this throughout his career.
Larry often had something to say after he made a basket, after he made a play. Was he the greatest trash talker of all time? A lot of people think he was the most consistent trash talker of all time because he trash talked all the time.
Larry always denies this, but he was the biggest trash talker that ever lived. They were playing the Pacers. He just torched Chuck Person for 40-some odd points and then said, "Merry Christmas." That's the kind of stuff he used to do.
Bird was by far the worst of the lot in terms of the trash talking, but he backed it up.
He would take players and he would be like, "Okay, next time on the court, here's what I'm gonna do to you, okay? I'm gonna take you in the post, I'm gonna pump fake left, I'm gonna look to the right, I'm gonna scoop up and under, and then I'm gonna score on you." And then he'd come down and do exactly what he told them.
Working on Wilkins.
This is the birth of the trash talking Larry Bird.
Pacers fan?
Big Patriots fan. Many, many years. Been coming up there since I was a little kid, about 3 times a week just watching practice.
The Celtics weren't the only team in Boston focused on winning a title in January of 1986. The New England Patriots had fought their way to their first championship game to take on the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 20.
And we know that when they get on that plane, they're going to represent us in New Orleans and join with the Celtics and the Bruins and the Red Sox as the world champion.
All of New England prepared to huddle around their televisions on the evening of January 26th to cheer on the underdog Patriots. Everybody, including the Celtics, but not before a matinee appearance at the Garden against the Sixers.
We beat Philadelphia, Barkley and Dr. J here on Super Bowl Sunday.
Bill had a Super Bowl party at his house in Cambridge.
No, he did.
There might have been a few hall passes to maybe escape the non-beer thing. We found a way to sneak around that rule every once in a while.
As a rookie, you got to always remember there's programs that you just end up missing. So the Super Bowl party was one that it went slightly above my pay grade.
He hadn't built up enough trust to be invited to that party. I just leave it at that.
2 weeks after being mauled by the Bears in Super Bowl 20, the Patriots weren't the only ones seeing stars in Boston. Boston's Big Three was named to the Eastern Conference All-Star team, with K.C. Jones getting the nod as head coach. But the excitement of the All-Star game may have been overshadowed by Bird before it even began.
In the mid-'80s, they were starting to make a big deal out of All-Star Weekend. And, part of the attraction of that was to create things.
The three-point contest was started for the 1986 All-Star Game in Dallas.
Had the slam dunk competition had come in, and now here comes the three-point contest.
You're starting something from scratch. You want it to be accepted. You want Larry Bird in there. The thing with Larry, I think the prize that year was $10,000 for first place in the three-point shot contest.
This meant he could make $10,000 in like 5 minutes. I mean, for 5 minutes of work, and that was always attractive to him.
I can make 10 grand shooting threes. So he.
You know how much that was back then too? 10 grand back then, the 80s?
This meant he could make $10,000 in like 5 minutes. I mean, for 5 minutes of work, and that was always attractive to him.
I can make 10 grand shooting threes, so he practiced for it.
Be like a guy practicing home run derby, before going.
Bird was never more confident, never feeling greater than that year, and he walks into the locker room in advance of the three-point contest and says, "Which one of you guys finished in second?"
Typical Larry, yeah. I mean, Larry was as sure of himself as any player I've ever been around.
Now, who the hell says that if you can't back it up?
Facts.
Oh, wait a second, off the glass. Give me a break, Larry.
Just fueled that growing legend of his.
He shows up at the news conference saying, "I'm the three-point king," and he's raising his finger, and I think he singled out Dan Shaughnessy.
He came into the press conference, and he said, "I'm the three-point king. Put that in your paper, Dan Shaughnessy." I said, "Okay." And he just carried on, and he was so happy to have made $10,000 in like 5 minutes of work.
Larry, what are you going to do with the money? He says it's going to go to the Larry Bird Fund. That was the coup at the end of the day.
Larry, he holds down a lot of his talent to benefit the team a lot too. But if you ever see him on that night when he just feels like coming to shooting it.
Bird's midseason theatrics would continue against the Portland Trail Blazers. Larry would exact revenge for their only home loss to the Blazers by taking matters into his own left hand.
Playing with his left hand. Here we
This is
go.
the year he starts shooting left hand more and more, culminating in the game in Portland.
Far Bird's there.
I do believe that the game got almost too easy for him, so he was manufacturing little challenges for himself.
You have to play games left-handed, or you have to do different things to keep your interest in the game.
Bird against Kersey.
And low-key, this actually helps him because it keeps you engaged more. It keeps him active. It keeps him want to keep playing the game. Because you're never like, how they should say it, you're never tapped out. You're constantly tapped into the game. So it actually helps keeps him going, right? It keeps him going so where he's not slacking, right? Finding ways to be challenged.
Left-handed, or you have to do different things to keep your interest in the game.
Bird against Kersey. Oh, what a basketball player that is.
It heightens the legend to levels, beyond belief. But this stuff really happened.
Bird's boredom resulted in a 47-point performance in Portland, scoring nearly half his points intentionally with his left hand.
The game got close. I had to go back to the right one.
Blazers up by a point. Now, Bird can't beat you right there. You got to keep them under control. They don't.
Final score in overtime. Boston 120 breaks the Blazers' hearts 119.
That's how good he got. That's how great he was.
We were really lucky to come away with a win here. We'd like to play the Blazers more, though. It's a good rivalry, really good matchups, and I really like being on Larry Bird's team.
I guess you do. All right, Bill, thank you very much for being with us. Congratulations to you.
Great to be here.
The Celtics, I think, a person who had left.
Wow.
Gets it to Danny Ainge. Boston up by 5. Bullet pass to Bird. Bounce to Parrish.
The Celtics sunk the Clippers, clinching a playoff berth on February 28th, the earliest the team had ever done so, and a mark that would stand until 2016.
Bird kept it alive to Walton for 2.
As the calendar turned to March, the Celtics arrived in Dallas, where Larry Bird would be the one playing the role of the Maverick.
I was mad at Kevin and Bill before the game. They were messing around in Dallas, and I was very upset. So I went out and I told them, I don't need you guys. I'll win it by myself. I score 50 and we lose. But I made my point.
Bird's message was clear. The team went on a season-best 14-game win streak, but it was their uncanny ability to pass the ball that was turning heads around the league.
They double Bird. That leaves Parrish open over the head.
Oh my gosh,
That's
that
good
overhead
seriously.
pass.
It starts with Larry Bird. Larry Bird's the greatest passing forward in history. He's the best forward in history, and within that, he's the best passing forward in history.
Parrish.
Passed through people's legs, passed around people's heads, passed without looking.
Larry.
That is an insane one right
It
there.
does come down to the fact that Larry Bird set a tone, and everyone got in the spirit of the thing.
It was almost like they wanted to outdo each other to make the more amazing pass.
McHale. Basket will count.
Bill Walton was the greatest passing big man in the history of basketball.
What could be better than helping your teammates play?
I wanted to sort of play with the second unit because Walton was always looking to pass. If you threw the ball in the post and you cut, you know, you're getting the ball.
He basically knew what I was going to do and when I was going to cut, the way I set up, and vice versa. The backdoor plays was always, if the guy turns his head, it's coming, and just be ready.
You throw a pass to any one of those guys, they're going to catch it and turn it into goal.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful. It's ballet, and a lot of it was eye contact and just instinct.
It was the best passing team I've ever seen, and the reason was because the bigs could pass it as well as the guards.
So when you have McHale and Parrish down low, you want to give them the ball as much as you possibly can.
Player as he is, he only can concentrate.
Oh,
They
man.
by 1,000 cuts with them. They took teams apart by passing, and they took great pride in that.
Keeping it alive for the Celtics. Walton look away to Bird. Behind the back, Wedman.
Oh! The Celtics finished the regular season with
The Celtics and Lakers got to the final, and then they would do it.
I don't think any of us had any doubts that we were gonna have the Lakers again and have another crack at the Lakers.
Before Bird and Magic could face off once again in the finals, the Celtics had to make their way through the Eastern Conference.
Here we go.
The Celtics would start their journey toward Banner 16 by facing the Chicago Bulls in the first round of the playoffs.
Back then, they were like still a kind of an expansion team. They were not to be taken seriously.
I don't think that we viewed the Bulls as a threat, although, you know, Michael hadn't played most of that year.
Michael had broke his foot at some point earlier in the year. He came back, finished the season out. But honestly, we prepped for him, but the prep was pretty much like, well, let's get these guys out of here. You know, let's just beat them.
People that
Damn. Oh, snap. Yeah, because this is, you had the Detroit, you had Boston Celtics, you had Atlanta, Philadelphia, Washington, New Jersey, you know, Milwaukee. That first round, so they had during 86, my bad. During 86, the first round was against Chicago Bulls. Now, of course, there was a young Jordan, and he was injured, but they were like, we're not preparing for them, right? We're focused on who we focus on is the Lakers, right? We already know who we're trying to we for the NBA Finals. We don't get them out here.
Team. They were not to be taken seriously.
I don't think that we viewed the Bulls as a threat, although, you know, Michael hadn't played most of that year.
Michael had broke his foot at some point earlier in the year. He came back, finished the season out. But honestly, we prepped for him, but the prep was pretty much like, well, let's get these guys out of here. You know, let's just beat them.
People had heard of Michael Jordan and knew of his exploits, but we had no idea. And he lights us up.
A third-year guard by the name of Michael Jordan scored 49 points for the Bulls in Game 1. While Jordan's performance was impressive, it would not be enough to defeat the Celtics, as Boston claimed victory in the Garden.
That game, which was on national TV, was everybody kind of awoke and said, holy smoke, he's pretty good.
Well, no one's going to stop Jordan. The best you can do is try to delay him or try to keep the ball from him. He is by far the best guard in the league.
Yeah, even if I scored 60 points, I'd rather give up all the points for a win.
We kind of looked around and said, he'll never do that again.
What do the Bulls have to do for Game 2?
Pray.
Now we get to Sunday afternoon. It's Game 2, and it's one of the great playoff games in history.
Here he is, the move. What a great shot. And a basket and a foul.
They're shaking their heads going, what is going on here? They're beating the Celtics in Boston Garden in the playoffs. This can't happen.
You were saying he can't keep this up, and he did keep this up.
They cannot stop him. They cannot do anything with him.
He was dunking on them, and he was doing stuff to them that, like, Magic didn't do.
We kept
Holy
telling each other,
smokes.
whatever happens, Do not let them win the game. We don't care if he score 80.
I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh man, we're going to have to go to overtime to beat these dudes.
Michael on the drive across the lane, turnaround shot, got it, 63.
All right, now this confirms why Celtics is one of the best teams ever, because they had to go against, on the eastern side, against Jordan. They had to deal with him, right? The young Jordan, right? They had to deal with this guy. Damn.
Jordan, a new NBA record has been set in the Boston Garden.
Jordan's 63-point performance proved to be a forlorn fate, as the Celtics would win Game 2 in double overtime, 135-131. Jordan's 63 points still stands as an NBA playoff record.
At the end of that game, we said, hey, this guy Michael, he's pretty darn good.
Michael Jordan did a great job. Couldn't ask no more out of him.
One of Bird's greatest quotes, that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Loved that quote, and he could see. He wasn't stupid. He could see this young guy was really something special.
Michael was spectacular, and sometimes you get hot and you score a lot of points. But that day in a playoff game in the Boston Garden, that was special.
We probably took them for granted a little bit and probably took him for granted a little bit, but it was the start of Michael Jordan becoming Michael Jordan.
Obviously, he's talented. You know, score that many points. I don't care if it's in the church league. 63 is 63. We just didn't want him making a reputation off us.
Still, there's no one person that's going to, I think, beat 5 people on a court.
It doesn't hurt because it gives us confidence going back home. You know, we know that we can contend with these guys. We can beat them, and you know, we showed it tonight.
He had gotten our attention. You know, I think everybody in the world knew that Michael Jordan was somebody to be reckoned with.
I would have took it as an insult. One guy single-handedly beat us because I thought we was all that.
You know, to beat these guys, you got to play it 4 quarters.
I think we're just going to keep taking the ball down low and see what happens.
Now I go to Chicago.
Game 3.
It's going to be raucous, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Well, they took the credit out of the game.
Bird, they double on him. That gives it to McHale to Parrish. Oh!
We went in there, we're like, okay, man, let's get these guys out of here.
McHale off a nice feed from Age.
Maybe we'll just double team him every time he gets the ball, no matter where he is on the court.
We shut him down. We kind of crushed him.
Robert Parrish with a quick hands. Here comes the
Despite all of Jordan's efforts to lead the charging Bulls, when the dust had settled, the Celtics had swept Chicago in 3 games.
That's sending a message. No matter how good you are, you still cannot beat us.
Great player. I'm glad I'm on the Celtics.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
Good media training right there.
As the Celtics advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals, they would face another young team led by a unique high-flying forward.
You knew Dominique would
Another
probably
hard
have
one right here.
a 30-plus night. Would probably have a couple of dunks that really lit people up. But the Celtics were a very coldly confident bunch.
Bird had some what we call real dogs that played with him, like Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge. They had guys that can come at you.
They did have a mistake. You know, it wasn't a Boston Garden. You know, someone told me, hey, is it tough playing the Garden? I said, I'll play the Garden all day. I don't want to play McHale, Parrish, and Bird. That was our problem.
First of all, they swept the Hawks in the regular season and didn't have that much trouble with the Hawks. They won games 1 and 2 at home with no sweat. Easy.
Bird working on Wilkins.
Oh, that was a
Yes!
He hit some tough shots. You know, and you can't do anything about that. We knew going into each one of the games that it was going to be a battle. Every game. It wasn't no games that we said we're going, it's going to be an easy game.
Rivers. Oh, my goodness. Great rebound by Wilkins.
If I didn't get 30-plus a night, it was tough for us to win.
Bird the steal. Saw that one coming. Will Willis catch him? Nope.
They played hard, gave whatever they had. We were just a little bit short tonight.
In Game 3, Dominique soared to a 38-point performance for the Hawks, but it was not enough as the Celtics took a commanding 3-0 lead in the series. Boston appeared to be on the verge of sweeping another opponent in the playoffs, but they were faced with a small problem in Game 4.
To make it worse, they're not only beaten by the Hawks, they're beaten by a 5'6" guy, a little munchkin.
Spud Webb beat him. How about that?
Spud Webb.
Defensed him well, and here's Spud Webb again. Celtics are back on defense.
Yeah, Spud Webb don't get enough credit.
We made some turnovers, missed some shots, took some bad shots.
but I guess that sometimes can be expected from a team that gets a little too cocky.
Spud came in and gave us a big lift. He's like an energizer out on the floor. He's a guy who can get in the seams, pass it off. He can make the open shot. And when he's doing that, it's tough for people to handle our break.
They were, talking some smack about, we weren't going to lose the last game, all this stuff. And so we were all like a little irritated.
That's why they decided, well, this ain't going back to Atlanta.
Trap with a wing. Larry's got the middle, and he just runs the baseline, whichever side we take them to.
Now they're coming home up 3-1, and they're playing game 5 at home. The first half's going along nice, and I don't know, everything's fine. Third quarter, they make history.
Finds Parrish. Nice pass.
I remember talking to Danny about that quarter, and he described it as the perfect quarter of basketball.
An easy 2.
When our team really wanted to and really had to, we were so special.
It was a thing of beauty. Everything came together.
Here's the Chief.
We was clicking on all cylinders. Everything we did pretty much was right. We could do no wrong.
Quickly to McHale on the cut.
Look at that pass.
Excellent pass from McHale to Bird.
What does Mike Fratello do? He just called a bunch of timeouts. He just ran into a tsunami, and we just wiped him off the face of the earth.
It just took all the life out of the Hawks.
It was like we were stuck in mud, and they put on a clinic in that quarter. They really did.
Playing them at times, they would go somewhere else, and you couldn't go there. You knew your team couldn't go there, and it was a humbling experience.
They go off 36-6, including the final 24 points of the period.
Bird the rebound.
You don't outscore teams 36-6 in the playoffs. You just don't. Ended the series right then and there.
You can see what the Garden crowd thinks of that effort by the Celtics. What has to be a record blowout in a quarter.
It was everything that was great about the 1986 Celtics on display in full force for you. Pace, rebounding, shooting, scoring, and again, defense. If you want to go back and look at what the 86 Celtics were all about, call up that third quarter, because that was it in a nutshell.
The Celtics had reached their 3rd consecutive Eastern Conference Finals, and their next opponent resembled a deer trying to dodge oncoming traffic.
Obviously, they were a handful. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals, so you couldn't take them lightly.
They were a good team. They had Terry Cummings, they had Sidney Moncrief. They were a good team.
Don Nelson was resigned to the greatness of Larry Bird. He knew, we can't beat, we're not at this level. Nobody's at this level.
Milwaukee Bucks head coach Don Nelson knew everything there was to know about the Celtics. He had played 11 seasons in Boston, winning 5 championships along the way, before his number 19 was retired to the rafters in 1978. Nelson, who played alongside Casey Jones during his days with the Celtics, shared his thoughts with the media on his upcoming coaching matchup against his former teammate.
Don Nelson said that he was a better coach and he was a smarter coach than Casey Jones, which pissed me off.
Nelly was needling the Celtics all the time. He had called Danny Ainge a dirty player. And they were irritated with him, the Celtics were. I mean, he was supposed to be, quote, one of them.
We got to come down, show the patience on the offensive end, work and move the ball and catch them with the movement of the ball.
We had a great leader in KC, and for him to say that about KC, I personally thought it was insulting and in poor taste. I know he was trying to motivate his team, I get all that, but he should have never went public with it because that's all the ammunition I needed to go at him.
Baseline. Parrish. Yes. Good ball movement. Excellent ball movement.
I can't speak for my teammates, but it certainly pissed me off and fired me up.
Here comes break and Parrish is free. Robin.
I personally went at them, and that's the first time I ever took a series personal.
Robin.
I get pissed off now thinking about it.
Going to trap a little bit again. Parrish. Count it, and a foul.
He's trying to get on this skin.
We wanted to get a good start, and we're fortunate enough to be ahead by 20 points by the end of the first quarter.
We had a lot of good things going for us. The ball movement was excellent, and Larry and Kevin and DJ and Robert, Danny set a good tempo, and we were just able to keep it going.
One of the main reasons the Celtics have been able to keep things going all season was the play of Bill Walton off the Boston bench, who prior to Game 2 of the series received the NBA Sixth Man Award.
There have been many notable sixth men. Celtics, of course, pioneering with John Havlicek and later with McHale, but there had never been one who was a center, who came off the bench and had the kind of impact on a game that Walton would come to have.
When anybody asks you about the greatest teams, you can say, well, how many had a Hall of Fame center as your sixth man? His enthusiasm was infectious, and he was healthy.
Every game was a special game because we didn't know he was going to be broke down the next game. But that year he played 80 games, and we won a lot of them. Won a lot of them because of him.
They took a big bet on him as a sixth man, even though he was accident prone and injury prone and all that. And number one, he also didn't have the ego. He was like, yeah, I'll be sixth man. I just want to be a part of an organization that I can feel like I'm at home and I can bring the value and I understand my position. And to be that for the second team to come in, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was dope.
And he was healthy.
Every game was a special game because we didn't know he was going to be broke down the next game. But that year he played 80 games, and we won a lot of them. Won a lot of them because of him.
He just really, really embraced the whole culture of that team.
Yes. Words cannot describe the excitement and the pride that I feel in receiving this great award.
In my entire 14 years of professional basketball, I only finished the season twice. I was very fortunate to be on the Celtics when I was able to do it one of those times.
Thank you, Boston. You're wonderful. Now let's go win a basketball game right now.
When you're really good, and that Celtic team was really good, the opposition, they're irrelevant.
They go to him, Mr. Parrish.
Oh my God.
The helpless Bucks watched as everything the Celtics threw at them went in. All five starters scored over 20 points in Boston's 122-111 Game 2 victory.
Games 3 and 4 in Milwaukee, if you put those two games together, you would be absolutely amazed that one man could dominate so vividly from the forward position.
Back over to Bird. Bird turns around, hit. Bird dumps it in. Got it. Bird gets it.
In Game 4, I can remember Larry just making big three and one of these walking off the floor into the game, and they swept him.
The totality of what he did in that series and those two games in Milwaukee was a basketball clinic beyond belief.
We know what we got to do to win. And if we play up to our abilities, we're going to win. And we feel we have one of the best teams in the league. And if we match up very well against our opponents, and if we play good, strong basketball, we usually win.
Well, babe, that's like an outstanding record for me. 3 conference championships. I think you ought to keep me or sign me up for another 4.
They knew if they won that game that there would be an extended period of time that they would have off while the other conference finished up.
In the Western Conference, it had come down to two teams with a history of battling the Celtics for NBA supremacy. The Houston Rockets, who the Celtics defeated in the 1981 finals, giving Larry Bird his first title, and their bitter rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers and Celtics, arguably at that point, certainly the best rivalry in basketball, no question, and one of the handful of premier rivalries in all of sports.
The Celtics were looking for payback, were ready for payback, felt that they could beat LA, and they wanted to see Magic walk down the corridor with his head down.
I felt that in '85 we didn't give them our best shot. I really wanted a piece of the Lakers in '86.
The Celtics, all that season, they measured themselves against the Lakers. Their games, the big games of the regular season were against the Lakers. You know, if you would ask them, do you expect to play Houston in the finals, they would say, Houston who?
The Rockets landed in Los Angeles to take on the defending champs. In Game 1, the Lakers' Showtime brand of basketball was on full display as Magic Johnson and his supporting cast.
Style that was similar to ours. And Akeem Olajuwon had emerged as just just one of the best centers ever, along with Ralph.
Houston's Twin Towers, which was made up of a young 7'4" forward, Ralph Sampson, and a second-year center, Akeem Olajuwon, were unstoppable at home, defeating the Lakers in Games 3 and 4 of the series.
Maybe we were. I think a little bit beyond the conference finals.
The Lakers wanted the Celtics, and the Celtics wanted the Lakers. And the Houston Rockets crashed the party.
In Game 5, a fight late in the game would lead to the ejection of Olajuwon. The Lakers seized the opportunity, tying the game at 112, hoping to force the Rockets into overtime. But with 1 second left in regulation, Ralph Sampson would make sure that showtime was over.
Second on the clock.
No.
86 was some fluke, like just a weird shot.
When Ralph made that shot, I'm going, holy smoke, they just beat the Lakers.
If anybody believes there is a basketball God, he answered a prayer. No way it should have gone in, but it did. I actually feel bad for the Lakers, and that was the first and only time I ever did.
Ralph makes a crazy kind of turnaround.
He said that's the first and only time he ever felt bad for the Lakers other than that. Y'all gotta love the Chiefs.
Shot, it bobbles in, and I went like, oh, looks like we're gonna have to beat Houston.
There is no question that people were disappointed not to see the purple and gold show up again.
Well, we always wanted to play the Lakers. There's no question about it.
Even though the Rockets were a really good team, I was shocked.
It was very disappointing that we didn't get a chance to play against the Celtics once again in '86. It's a tough loss.
Here, everyone in Boston is ready to anoint this as the greatest basketball team of all time. And then the only way to really, cap that off is to beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
And instead, they never get the chance.
The one drawback to the 85-86 Celtics is who they play in the finals.
The Houston Rockets that year, that time, were better than the Lakers. They were coming. They were a team of the future.
There was an inevitability about that in my mind, that we were just going to win. It would just matter who it was, and I'd much rather have beaten the Lakers. But Houston was there, so we were going to beat them.
It's over. Number one in the West.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Most high above courtside.
Houston doesn't have
the Lakers
Magic.
are not here. Magic is not here. Akeem is, and he will do nothing.
Watch this. The Rockets are going to fall tomorrow.
This is what the Celtics are going to do to the Houston Rockets.
And Sampson, they're going to crush you.
Yo, okay. Boston, all right, I feel you. That's a good demonstration, I guess.
There's nothing like playing basketball in the Boston Garden in the playoffs when the crowd's really into it. Like I told Bill Walton one time, I said, when they're standing the whole game, they want to win. And Bill came up with the lines, they want blood, and they don't care whose it is, So, and it's true.
Heading into Game 1, the underdog Rockets seemed unfazed by Larry Legend and the Boston Celtics.
I'm 6'11". We can play against anybody in the league without any question. I can do it against anybody. So I don't have...
On the heels of a Game 1 victory, Larry Bird's legendary season continued to grow as he was named MVP for the third straight year.
When he gets to going, he's Larry.
He keeps getting better and better, and there isn't anybody in the world that's going to stop him.
In Game 2, Bird dominated in all aspects of the game as the Celtics blew out the Rockets 117-95.
Overall, we did very well and played a game the way it's supposed to be played.
It's embarrassing to be in a championship series and have one team dominate you the way Boston dominated tonight.
I think they sort of went down to Houston thinking that they're going to win it down there.
Let's face it, if you play 4 games the way we played the last 2, we'll all be fishing in a week.
The Rockets put their fishing trip on hold as Houston pulled off a 2-point win in Game 3. In Game 4, the Celtics got back on track and were just a single one away from the title.
And to Walton. Walton holds it. Back out to Bird. 3-point attempt. Swift! A 3-point field goal to Larry Bird.
No question, it's very possible teams can come back from 3-1, but that's what we're out there to try and stop.
They better not let us get ahead of them, because if we get that close to winning the championship with the lead, I doubt we'll give one up.
I remember that.
Sampson was off to an impressive start, scoring 12 points early in Game 5. But in the second quarter, Sampson snapped.
On the right now, quickly it goes. And Sampson almost levels Cedric with an elbow, and they don't call it.
He forearmed me from behind when I went over there, and the ref called the foul. The play stopped, and when that happened, I turned around and, I just kind of walked up, and that's when he threw the first punch, and my arms were down.
And now they're fighting. There's the fight going on right now.
Johnny went nuts.
Sampson started the whole damn thing. Ralph Sampson Sampson showed his true colors. He is a gutless big guy who picks on the little people.
Usually that would have been me that would have got in the fight with the big guy. Matter of fact, I've been accused of being the guy that got in the fight. People still to this day, like, yeah, when you got in a fight with Sampson, I go, no, that was C-Sting.
Everybody wants to take a shot at Jerry. And hell, my girlfriend can whip him.
I thought it was a foul should have been called. Somebody jumped at me, and I did what I had to do to protect myself.
Just a few weeks ago, on my LinkedIn account, Ralph friended me on LinkedIn. So, you know, it's all under the bridge now.
Sampson's ejection sparked the Rockets as they avoided elimination in a 111-96 win in Houston.
I don't think anybody said a word in the locker room after the game. There was no talk. It was like we could hear the Rockets fans celebrating.
You basically just played terrible in every aspect of the game.
We want to get this stuff over with. I'm tired of playing.
If you say that, then you expect it to be over.
I expect this to be over with Sunday.
Now holding a 3-2 series lead, the Celtics headed home, distressed and determined to end the series.
We arrived in Boston for a practice. There was still no conversations. We get in practice, and I remember our starters were just crushing the second unit.
Ooh.
Oh, snap.
All that hostility came out.
There was almost fights from as soon as we started.
I mean, it was 10 minutes into practice. KC just called off practice, said, we're ready. Go home, rest, see you tomorrow.
The prevailing view is the Rockets have merely been granted a stay of execution, but there are some who will tell you this is a new series.
Larry Bird was sitting home in Brookline watching television and saw the television coverage of the Rockets arriving in Boston and took one look at Ralph and said, we don't have to worry about him. He's out of this.
Game 6 was appointment television across the country as fans tuned in to watch Bird attempt to hang another banner at the Rockets' expense.
If you're playing the Celtics, there's one, you do not want to go into a game where Larry Bird says, this is the most focused I've ever been for a game, because you're in trouble if that's the case.
We were all like pissed off. We were ready to go. And there wasn't even a doubt in my mind that we were going to just trounce them.
They swing it around to Walton on the right side.
Walton out the glass.
It just felt we were invincible. Like there's no way anybody's going to stop us.
With the outcome inevitable, Larry Bird and the starters could begin to breathe a sigh of relief as the final minutes ticked off the clock.
I don't think anybody could have beat us that day. When I got taken out of that game, my heart started pounding really hard. And I was very nervous that I was going to pass out because just the excitement. I was sky high. I mean, my heart was pumping hard.
Yo, that's so dope.
Sweet 16, the Boston Celtics are the world champions for the 16th time.
I was just so happy, and I'm still happy to this very day.
We knew we had it because we came out to play, we played hard, we missed a lot of free throws, but we stuck in there and was very aggressive and took the game right away from them.
And we all felt so good about it all year long, and we worked so hard to put ourselves in a position to win it.
It is undoubtedly the best season we ever had. We did it all on defense. When you have three like that, I don't think there's no way you can lose, and we didn't.
It was the end of like a magical ride of...
It was kind
Sweet
of a
16.
letdown in that it was over. What am I going to do tomorrow? I mean, I don't want this to end.
2 days later, 1.5 million Celtic fans stormed the streets of Boston for a parade culminating at City Hall in celebration of Banner 16.
Barry Seastree might not be able to whip Ralph Sampson, but I know I can. Hakeem Olajuwon never heard of Celtic tradition. I bet he had some sleepless nights in the past couple of days.
Who's got a beer?
Talk those stuff.
We need some beer up here. Let's go. Time to party. World champs, yeah.
This is the greatest. We have the best team. You guys refuse to let us lose. Thank you very much.
I want to thank the city of Boston and the fans. Give yourself a big applause. You've been great all year. Thank you.
Everybody, let's have a nice time this summer. A lot of beers, a lot of relaxation, and let's do it again.
I don't think anybody thought this would be the last one. No more championships. That was unthinkable on that day.
This makes my life so much happier. I mean, I love the Celtics. We don't realize how lucky we are to be in a sports town like Boston.
Red Auerbach had produced a championship team in 1986 and was preparing for another finals run in 1987.
Second pick goes to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics select Len Bias of the University of Maryland.
No.
What
Here we
would
go.
happen if we ever get in the lottery and get a chance to get that guy, Bias?
I like the team, I like the area, and it'll be a chance for me to learn and grow as a player.
I was with Len Bias in Boston at 11 to 12 o'clock at night. He had just signed a contract with Reebok, who I was with. I woke up the next morning and stopped to get gas, and the gas station attendant told me that Len Bias had died, and I was like, no, he didn't. I was just with the guy like 8 hours ago. There's no way.
Just 2 days after becoming a Celtic, Len Bias was dead, the victim of a cocaine overdose.
Leonard Bias was pronounced dead at 8:50. The cause at this time is cardiorespiratory arrest.
Len Bias was by far the best athlete coming out of college this year.
We spent a couple of days with him, and now he's not here.
It was just like shocking, and I was just devastated.
They didn't even have time to imagine what it would be like with him because he was gone before it even happened.
Len Bias, dead at age 22.
I'll tell you, this year's team's going to have a lot of excitement in us. We're not going to live on last year's laurels. You stay behind us, and we'll be right back here next year doing the same thing.
The following season, Banner 16 was raised to the rafters, with the majority of the 86 roster still intact. The Celtics were poised to repeat as champions.
Really, the hard part starts. It's not so much, it's hard in winning a title, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's harder defending this title.
5 seconds to go. Magic with a hook shot, scores with 2.
We made it to the finals with broken feet, Bill not playing, run down on just grit alone.
Bird fires it.
The Lakers beat us. It's unfortunate that the Lakers won another title against us.
It was never the same after that because somebody was always getting hurt.
For some reason, I don't know, whatever it is, it seems that the team who's won has been kind of snake-bitten next year as far as injury goes, as far as just having kind of some bad luck.
At the start of the season, the prevailing attitude was that I was going to be able to play even more this year than I played last year. I certainly felt that way.
Walton would only play 10 games in the 1986-87 season before hanging up his jersey for good.
1986 was Larry's finest year. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And it was really the last year he was completely healthy.
Ravaged by injuries, Bird was forced to walk away from the game in 1992.
Unfortunately, it all came down to this. I would like to play a little bit longer, maybe a year or two more, but there's just no way possible I was going to be able to do that.
They went one by one. Larry went after 92, and Kevin went after 93. And then eventually Robert, he winds up in Chicago and he winds up in Charlotte and plays the most games anybody in the history of the league.
We were much more like meteors. We came in, we flamed hard, and we flamed out, but we gave you what we had along the way. It was a good show. Didn't last long, but it was a good show.
You knew you were going to have to pay for all the good eventually. I mean, very rarely do you see a dynasty go out on top. Dynasties, as you say, tend to crumble slowly.
Unthinkably, the future of the Celtics dynasty crumbled before their own eyes. In 1993, budding star Reggie Lewis died as a result of a heart defect.
Just think about it. Len Bias and Reggie Lewis, they would have rebuilt on the fly with these two amazing young players. And then when it came time for Bird and McHale and Parrish and all those guys to step aside, you would have had two superstars ready to carry on. And instead, it just all collapsed in a heap.
The Celtics had lost their heart with Reggie's passing and would lose their voice as well, as legendary radio broadcaster Johnny Most also passed in 1993.
It was bad. It was all bad, and it didn't really turn around.
Do not build a new garden. If you're going to build a new garden, just renovate this one.
The garden closed its doors in 1995 and was eventually torn down, making way for the Fleet Center and new leadership. In 1997, Rick Pitino replaced Auerbach as team president and assumed the role of head coach. Armed with the projected #1 overall pick, the Pitino era was off to a dreadful start.
Third pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Boston Celtics.
The Celtics' luck had run out, along with Pitino's patience to restore the Celtics dynasty.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I guess this guy was not liked at all when he came through to replace Red, right?
And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
With Pitino's departure in 2001, the Celtics tradition that Red Auerbach had created was all but gone. 5 years later, in 2006, the patriarch of Boston's dynasty was laid to rest. Red Auerbach died at the age of 89. In 2007, Boston would say goodbye to another member of the Celtics family. Dennis Johnson, who was coaching in the NBA Developmental League, suffered a heart attack and died in February of 2007. He was just 52 years old.
I was so upset and depressed that I did not go to his funeral. That's how bad I felt. I just didn't want to see him like that.
He's really finding his groove as a coach and enjoying it, and I think he had aspirations of moving up and getting back in the NBA and all this stuff, and just a shock, way too early.
That really hurt me. It really did.
He was a great friend, a great guy, and someone that has been definitely missed and will always be missed.
Man.
How could it go to the highest of the heights to the lowest of the lows the way it did? It was staggering, honestly. And some of the worst part about it was that the rest of the league loved it. They loved that the mighty Celtics had fallen, because they were a little arrogant and they had this swagger about them, and people loved watching them suffer.
Really, I thought they might never get back.
Original monarchy has regained the throne. It is the end of a 22-year odyssey. It is Banner 17.
Danny Ainge, who had returned to lead the Celtics basketball operations in 2003, constructed Boston's modern-day Big Three as the Green exacted their revenge over the Lakers in 2008.
As an executive, I felt it when those three came together. It was something very special.
That was like a dream come true. And then especially to do it against the Lakers, I mean, it was just like, whoa, I couldn't have scripted it any better.
When you think of one franchise and you think of the word Big Three, they have two sets of them. That tells you that's a pretty good franchise. It still goes back to Red in a lot of ways. I mean, Red Auerbach's stamp on the Celtics still lives.
Being a guy who embraced the Lakers-Celtic rivalry in the 80s is something that got me into basketball now. I'm not only a part of the Celtic tradition of winning a championship, but I'm a part of, the new rivalry.
That was equal of a highlight for me as 1986.
Yes, sir.
Off the court, I'm a proud, loyal, and grateful Celtic.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Way to end it off with that. Learned so much deep in the history of the team, the players that made what Boston Celtics was during the 86 run. And it truly was a testament of how great they were as a team, being the best team out there. And what they had to endure, the sacrifices, down to the chemistry, down to really wanting it bad, and how important that run was, you know what I'm saying, and how it's never ever been replicated, again, other than the closest I could see is Golden State's with Stephen Curry and in that era. But other than that, like, you haven't really seen that with any team, right? The Boston Celtics, man, y'all gotta be proud. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys. If you made it through this all the way here, let me know in the comment sections. Y'all the real ones. I thank y'all for tuning in with me. And this was an amazing documentary. It has me really appreciating that I became a fan over this journey, more into leaning towards Boston Celtics and becoming more of a fan, learning about the Chief, Larry Bird, you know, all of them, Kevin McHale, every one of them on here, man. It's an amazing true story, and it's inspirational. And I would suggest anybody, especially who's a sports fan, to check this out. So, yes, thank you guys tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace.